Good evening, everybody. Oh, somewhat late, but we're here.
Hey, it's only a minute. It's not that bad. Could be worse.
Do you know what, Ewok? This is why we're late, mate. We're trying to sort Discord out. Oh, look, my sign's all wonky. Oh no, triggered. We're trying to sort Discord out, but somehow
that was unfortunately last week that I was wearing the GIMP suit because I was trying to avoid all of the paint that I spilled everywhere the week before. But we'll give you a room tour later for the completing a mess that is my floor. So back to the main reason we're here.
Yes.
We go, Paul?
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another live stream. We hope you all have a beverage. I've got myself a little medicinal Wixie, because as you can probably hear from my freakish voice, I'm still suffering with a goddamn stinking cold that I've now had for well over a week. Again, I apologise for the hacking and coughing. I'll try and smother the mic as much as possible.
I'm drinking a very nice beer from Lidl called Steam Brew, and the slogan on the side of the can is "Let's oil the gears of life." So, yeah, I can drink to
that. So, first thing on the agenda tonight, let's give a shout out to everybody who's in chat. Now, good to see you with us, Tim, some dude on YouTube. Congratulations on your wedding anniversary yesterday, I think it was, from your Tuesday show. I hope everything went well and you got in the good books with your missus. Hello to Darren. Hello to Ewok. Good to see you at Chillcon, mate. Fantastic to meet in the flesh, finally. Hello,
shame
Spam.
I wasn't there.
Yeah, it was a shame, but you know it couldn't be helped. It was all a little bit last minute. Bless them. Chillcon had a little bit of a whoopsie, and to be fair, we didn't receive our press passes till 20 to 10 on Friday night. Bearing in mind the event is on the Sunday, so that made the planning a little bit last minute. So obviously I was able to go, but unfortunately you'd got commitments with family, hadn't you, mate? Weekend at the coast with Spam.
Yeah.
And all the kids.
Dry run for the holiday to check that the children don't murder one another. And so they all came back alive, so all is good in the hood.
That sounds excellent. So yeah, I mean, as I say, shame David couldn't have come. It would have been a brilliant event to have us both there and enjoying it. But you know, it is what it is. We you know, maybe next time. Good evening to Paul from Pandyman Entertainment. Good to see you in the chat.
Isn't Partisan soon?
Partisan is the 19th of May, I think, but don't quote me on that.
So soon then.
Something like that. Because I was talking to Jack about us going a few guys from the club. And that's it. Ooh. So that's the chat shouted out. If you're joining us for the first time, everybody on YouTube, I'm going to just adjust my camera. I'll give you a rundown of what we're going to be doing over the next couple of hours. So we'll be running through our usual format. First thing, David and I will chat about what we're going to actually be working on while we're live on the show tonight, because that's primarily what our live streams are about, getting some hobby done.
Are you dying?
Yeah, I am dying. I feel like absolute crap. Still, never mind, soldier on. Then after that, we will have a quick chat about what we did at Gaming Club on Monday night.
It was a fucking epic week this week.
Yeah, it was World War II mad this week. Only 2 games played, and they're both World War II historicals. Then when we've done that, I've got a couple of YouTube videos to share for everybody, which I quite enjoyed and thought might be worth a shout. And then we can waffle and chat and interact and whatever. And then probably a bit before 9 o'clock, we will get into our main topic, which is to chat more about what happened at Chillcon 2024 on Sunday.
It's a bumper episode.
essentially, what I've done, I haven't really spoiled too much with David or talked to him too much about it, because I thought it'd be quite cool if, like, he can basically be he can sort of like be you guys by proxy and then ask me questions, and it'll all be a bit new to him. So he'll be able, he can sort of like fill in for you guys. So
Rude.
let's what are you share? What are you doing tonight, mate?
What am I doing? Well, if we go down to my desk cam, if it's working, there we go.
Yeah,
We're
your
live on the
desk cam was working. Ba-ding!
It is now. We're live on the internet because this is the penultimate house. This is the final house, and then I have a church to build, apparently. But I don't know if I don't know if I should build the church or not, Paul. What do you reckon? Because my other church is better.
May as well. Can't. I mean, again, I suppose
for a pound.
You rattle through those kits quite quickly, don't you? I mean, the only reason for not doing it is it's a waste of time. But I don't think. I mean, they're not foreground level of time consuming, are they?
No, they're not. They're not terrible. I think I might have moved and covered my face, but we're not doing too bad. And handy dandy tip, particularly for this small 15mm scale, this is your friend. It's fucking amazing. It means I build a house in like 10 minutes. It's fucking awesome.
Really? So you're super gluing your way through it. That's awesome.
I'm super gluing my way through it, and it's giving me a lot cleaner finish because I'm not picking up fingerprints of PVA and leaving them on the walls.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's amazing.
Yeah, because that does happen. Just looking at the chat, Spam says apparently she's in the bath with a glass of wine, and then Ewok's saying this isn't a Twitch. That's not that sort of stream. This isn't Twitch. Although he does say that Spam Cam has a certain ring to it. Oh my God, things are just going so badly.
One of these days, we're gonna have to get the duo streaming setup sorted. Actually, while we're here, we can do a room tour. So
okay. He's going off road, people.
Off piste. Let's just take you out of the holder.
To be fair, Darren, I build MDF almost exclusively with PVA, and it does give you. It's a bit like the thing is, because it's sort of like softened, it absorbs into the wood. It's sort of like the equivalent of bloody plastic cement on ABS plastic. So it does give you your best bond.
Floor that is a pretty shade of Sigvald Burgundy.
Yes.
Luckily, I do have a plastic cover down for under the desk, but it's a bit like it's a bit pink now.
Dear, the dungeon. Right. Yeah, I will have to pull those images. I've got some images to pull off Discord. We were trying to get Discord to share as an application window in OBS. I don't know if anybody else has if anybody here is an expert. Tim might be the best person to ask. Do you have issues sharing Discord in OBS now, Tim? Because it appears on the display capture menu, but it's grayed out, so it's not selectable. I'll have Discord done something to lock their fucking app now. That's the reason I don't use Superglue, Darren, because if I fuck things up, I mean, I am notorious for not dry fitting anything.
But that's why I'm using thick glue, because it gives me a working time.
Yeah, okay. So you don't find that it... And again, I suppose the viscosity means it doesn't soak in too quick, does it? Let me share with everybody what I'm going to be working on tonight, because I don't really know what to do, to be fair. I don't feel like doing much at all, but fucking need to crack on. Having said that, I am going to be prattling on, so I probably won't get too much done. So I think what we'll do tonight is...
Yes, it is a miracle that the paint came out of the trousers, Spam. I still can't genuinely believe that those are
Right.
unharmed.
These are the bridges that we Carnivale Stretto bridges from TT Combat that we assembled for our Frostgrave table. A couple of coats of the mixed Vallejo primer, which you saw me do last week, I believe it was. So I got 6 of these bad boys. So I reckon that a bit of easy mode dry brushing on these might be a good thing to do on stream.
Are they not a bit flat?
What the yeah, I mean I'm not expecting the dry brushing to bring out too much of the texture because the tile texture's pretty nondescript. All I want to do is really do a mixture of I suppose I'll do a hybrid stipple stroke dry brush just to give it like that stony concretey look, and then I'm hoping that a Null Oil wash will pick out these slabs.
Better than that. I'll raise you one better.
What?
Stipple or pull on some Athonian camo shade.
Yeah.
So it looks like algae, mate.
Yeah, when I do the wash step, I don't know what everybody else thinks, but I've found the best way to apply washes to MDF is to pre-wet the whole thing with water first and then put your washes on, because number one, if the MDF is already wet, you don't get that where it sucks all the wash up really hard and fast and you get a lot of blotching. If everything's wet already, not only does it soften and dilute the washes, but you can move stuff around without it cocking up. So,
who are matron?
What I'll probably do, mate, is a mixture of, like, say, some Ethonian and some Null Oil to bring out the paving slab texture. There, and like say, Ethonian to give you the moss-like, and again, I can focus on the underneath for the moss, where it would be wet and damp. And not exposed to the sun. So that's what I'm going to be working on tonight. My voice is not going to last. Yeah. To be fair, I got I've always struggled with MDF, particularly applying washes and stains, because you don't have any control over it. And then I watched a video by Mel the Terrain Tutor.
Here's a question.
Yep.
Why don't you utilise oil washes? Then you've got way more control.
No, that is a very good point. People do say oil washes are brilliant for MDF. The problem with the oil washes is, honestly, mate, it's too much work because they're like a reductive option. Because you put it on, then you take it off. I just can't be fucked with it. It's too much work for me. I just want to do everything in one step if I can. But yeah, as I say, Mel's method of soaking the crap out of everything with water and then just pushing the washes about works for me. And it doesn't involve an extra step of, like removing it. I probably should experiment with oil washes. I keep dodging them and avoiding them because I think they're going to be a ton of extra work. But I'm probably not right.
No, you're not.
So, should we have one more go at trying to get Discord to work? Okay, so Discord is running, but it is not being detected. Right. So let's shut.
Ugh.
No, I don't. What the hell?
Right. That's the bits I need to build the chimney for this fucker in a minute.
While I'm trying to get Discord running, let's talk about what I did at club on Monday night. I played Bolt Action again. My Japanese against Ricky's British SAS this time. Ricky's having a bit of a mare with the Brits, the SAS, because they're highly elite, and because they don't really work like he thinks they should. He's down
a little bit of a hole, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He gets a little bit stressed about it. So he managed to win. So given the fact it stressed him out of his head, he didn't do too fucking badly in the end. We played a mission, I think it's called Envelopment, something like that. It's one of the attacker defender scenarios, and basically I was the Japanese defender, Ricky was the attacker. What he had to do was basically get his units off my board edge for maximum points. Now, because he's got a highly mobile SAS force with a lot of jeeps, it was a pretty good scenario for his army, to be fair. Interesting you say about that new Ewok. I've seen some videos on that new stuff. Artis Opus did one. And it looks okay. But I'm not sure it's any better than just a standard acrylic wash. But again, meh. Yeah, well, to be fair, you say that. You say that, Tim, about the MDF not soaking stuff up if you use a filler primer. I don't know. That I've still had, because the thing is, you get slightly thin patches of your primer, and you'll just be sweeping. You'll sweep a brush of wash over it, and suddenly it's like it just tea stains or coffee stains the wood straight away, and it's like, and then you're not shifting that bastard. I say I've just found that if everything's wet as hell, it just gives me
it's
more
better
protection.
when it's wetter, is it?
Yeah.
More protection when it's wetter.
Okay, Ewok's saying he tried
like
the Noosh on Japanese tanks and got a decent result with it. Okay, mate. I might have a look at that Noosh again. Have you seen that Noosh, David?
No, I haven't.
I think is it a Green Stuff World product? No, it's a Monument Hobbies product, isn't it? It's supposed to be, it's like a weird, I think it's an acrylic so it's an acrylic wash that you wipe away. I think, or it's like a medium. It's like a medium. You add the pigment to it, so you mix acrylic pigments to it, and then you can use it like an oil, but it's not an oil. It's an acrylic. It's very complicated. If it gets too wet, no, that is true, Darren. You do have to be careful. But to be honest, you've already put down your base colours and your primer, so. You're not literally dunking it in a bucket of water. You're just applying it with a brush. Anyway, getting back to bolt action. So basically, Ricky had a bit of an advantage with his list because it was highly mobile. The other advantage that Ricky had was that with this scenario, he's got a 6 foot width of the table. All he needs to do is pick his point and punch through my lines to get everything off. Whereas I've got to almost realistically defend everything at the beginning because I don't know where he's going to come. So I was spread a bit thin. And I did get some kills. Obviously, again, that's the one vulnerability of like the SAS lists and a lot of the super elite lists in bolt action. I scored 2 victory points for every enemy unit eliminated. And when you've got a lot of 2-man weapon teams, it doesn't take long to start racking up some points. And the SAS, a lot of them, the SAS squads are like 4-man when they're fully, when they're full. So there are a lot of small squads to snipe for VPs. So I think I got 8 points in the end, because that was my only way to score, killing stuff. Ricky then got 1 victory point for removing my units, but 3 for a unit off the board, 2 for a unit in my deployment zone, and 1, I think it is, for a unit in my table half. But basically, he pushed through and he managed to get 13 points with both by the end of turn 6. Again, played full length game, got all the way to the end in time. So really good game of bolt action. We're playing cleaner. We're still not playing without errors. We forgot to put when you have reserves in bolt action, you put your order dice in turn 1 and then pull them and put them down. We forgot to do that, so there wasn't the right amount of order dice in.
You forgot the machine gun requires a fucking loader to operate.
Because I'd been helping Ricky build his list. The SAS lists come with a lot of the squads have 2 LMGs per unit. So I was like rolling dice as if mine did as well for like nearly all of turn 1, and I was like, well, hang on a minute, I only got 1 fucking LMG per unit. So we managed to build that up. And there was another thing that we got wrong as well, but I can't remember what it was. But you know, you got to keep playing these games. You get them clean eventually. So that's what I got up to on Monday night. Now, miraculously enough, I think Discord's working. Woot. Right.
You taking us across to my table?
Yes,
what
mate.
I did.
So I'm in Discord. Let me just check and see what this looks like. So I apologize that this isn't the biggest image ever, everybody, but we don't often do a Discord frame here, so I've not got everything sized and optimized to show really well. But basically, David played Flames of War against Alex, didn't you, mate?
Yes.
Yeah. So do you want to talk everybody through it?
Versus 80 points of British. We played the free-for-all scenario. So you place an objective, 2 objectives in your opponent's deployment zone, within 8 inches of the edge of the table and more than 8 inches from the 2 long ends. So this picture that was just on screen was taken from Alex's point of view. Alex was pushing through the village, past the church and the crossroads to get into my deployment zone, and he'd done quite intelligently. He put 1 in the farm complex one end and 1 just off the crossroads the other end of the village. I was a bit of a prick and decided to put both in a relatively close proximity to one another in the centre of the board. My logic behind that was, well, if I can get him to break or pierce and wheel, I can get round and onto one, and then it'll just be a war of attrition. Really good game. It went back and forth 3 or 4 times. That it was very close. It was a very close game. It yo-yoed backwards and forwards between me winning, Alex winning, and then back again. I ended up winning the game by just running one of my Easy 8 teams up onto that objective that's at the edge of the wheat field.
Is that blue dice?
Yeah, that blue dice. The best play of the game, I think, that happened was my little M24 Chaffies, which you can just about see in the image here, rolled up through the centre of the village to the crossroads, screened it to trap as 5 Panzer IVs came round the corner, ran round the building to the right of this picture towards the wood copse and rolled round the building to get side and rear armour shots off on tanks. And fuck me, is Panzer IV armour very thin on the sides and the rear. I blew 3 of the 4 tanks sky high in a single round of shooting from 2 M24 Chaffies and a 76 Jumbo that rolled up near the church and just had a bead on. These are absolutely awesome cinematic game.
These are the column of Panzers. What's that in the distance, slightly out of focus? Are those your Chaffies?
They're my Chaffies rolling up by the building going, oh, fuck.
Right.
We found armour.
Yeah. To be fair, you were lucky there because the Panzers should have ripped those apart.
They should have. And to be fair, they did take out 2 of the 4. It was the little Chaffies that rolled around the side and went, right, we're going to fucking tear them a new one now.
Because you've only got 1 unit of Chaffies, haven't you? Or have you got 2?
Yeah, no, I've only got 1 unit.
Yeah. Yeah, you were lucky there. But yeah, good game. I do like your ruined church building thing. Oh, sideways pick, everybody. Don't know.
Cheers, Ewok.
But yeah, look, the table looks great. To be fair, you can just about see if you study this picture closely enough. David used 2 4x4 mats from the club, and overlaid one on the other, because you can just see the green transition about a third of the way across going left to right. But it doesn't look too bad, actually. It actually looks quite almost natural.
I tried to place like some big terrain features on it and some
Hide
houses
it,
and the
yeah.
fields, etc., to help break it up and make it look less linear.
To be fair, you should get that terrain finished, man, because it looks so bloody good.
I'm on it. I'm building the houses, and then I'm going to do the trees. I'm also thinking of buying another set of woodland scenics trees.
Okay.
Main reason being, I don't quite know how I want to do the base tile that they slot into.
Right.
But me and Alex did say when playing this game, even though the trees have got no fucking leaves on at the moment, the fact that they're like winter fall trees and the ploughed fields that I've got for my terrain set have very sparing, like little bits of flock sprinkled on them just to break them up, my carpet tiles.
Yeah, yeah.
It looks like a very wintry scene.
Yes.
So I'm thinking of building like a winter set, and then I'll build a summer set of trees as well, and just possibly try and use them interchangeably on the bases.
Yeah, that's quite a good idea. That's a good idea.
Fuck off, Tim. That is what's about Assassin's Creed.
Yes, Assassin's Creed will be back. To be fair, Assassin's Creed will probably be back. It'll be me, because I should be receiving my Kickstarter for the new expansion soon. So that'll no doubt kickstart me to get my mojo going on it again, and do some work on it. Oh, come on. My Vortex mixer's playing up. Right. I'm running low on patience. Let's get some paint out, and let's actually start doing some dry brushing before things get too
Well,
bad.
I'm going to start super gluing the next building together, and then once that's glued together, we're going to get the wood glue out.
Let's talk about a couple of. Oh, actually, no. Before we go to Discord, before we leave Discord, there's just one other thing that I need to share. Now, where?
Tim, it's not a seasonal rabbit hole. This is a year-long rabbit hole we're going down. We're making a point of doing terrain and doing terrain while we're on stream.
So, yeah.
Actually, yes. Tim makes
sent
a very good point.
What?
I am nameless.
Oh, okay. Just bear with me a second.
Main scene. Soundproofing the sex dungeon. Where the fuck did you find this?
This was Ewok sent me this. He thought this might be helpful for you with your new house, doing some DIY. So thanks very much.
Very much appreciated, Ewok. Unfortunately, I don't need to soundproof anything.
No, because he doesn't give a shit what his neighbours think. And if they have too much of it, he'll just invite them round. And at the end of a gun. Yeah, terrain rabbit holes are where we should all be, Ewok, because, you know, terrain is the hardest thing to fucking consistently work on. Right, let's go back to let's get on to some sort of like normality now we've finished ripping the shit out of David for his sex dungeon and his gimp suit. Right. Videos. So, only a couple of things that piqued my interest on YouTube this week. The first one, this is a video. This is an interesting one. I don't follow Goobertown religiously. His videos are very watchable, but because they're most
hit and miss for me.
Because they're mostly painting 40k stuff, they're like mostly meh. I just don't care. He did do that one with one-page rules with Dave from Mini Wargaming, which was quite a good video. I think there were two of them. They played a game and there was like a prep video as well. But basically, this one's a real story. It's quite a long video for him. It's nearly an hour. And basically what it is back in 9th edition, over a year ago, Goober got all excited. I think his name's Brett. The guy who...
Yes, it is Brett from
Brett.
Goober Town Horror.
Brett got all excited for 40k, and him and his mates decided to do an escalation league. And basically, he filmed a load of footage, started making the video, and then shelved it because it was a complete embittered rant about 40k being a suck balls pile of shit. But he's actually thought about it, taken a few deep breaths, and then he made this video basically saying 40k is a load of shit that sucks balls. Obviously, he's a little bit more measured than that, but it's a really interesting video that I think is quite honest about 40k. It's not a piece of fanboy fiction like most 40k content is that you'll see online. And it's like Brett says, it's not a bad game. It's just not a game for casual or amateurs. It's a game for people who want to be really, really serious about their gaming.
Competitive.
Because you can't keep up with it. It's like he says, if he plays 3 games a year, every time he goes to play, everything's changed. And he draws parallels with, like, there are games like Magic the Gathering Commander. He might only play 1 game a year of that, but he can just reach for a deck he created a decade ago, and it still works exactly like he created it a decade ago. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
It's not a problem, but 40k it is a massive problem. So if you're a bit of a GW cynic like me and David here, check this video out because it'll make you feel better about yourself. And also, again, it's just generally a good video about what's actually wrong with fucking 40k right now.
40k.
And again, look at the massive stack of books next to him. Brett has got some history with this. I think he's goes back as far as 4th or 5th edition. Even though he's got a copy of Rogue Trader there. That'll be the reprint, I imagine. So, I mean, he's got some history with 40k, but it's like he says, every time he goes to play the game, it disappoints him. And he actually put some thought into why. Another video, this one's a bit of a meta one as well. So, the Dungeon Craft is a YouTube channel that focuses on basically role-playing games that aren't D&D. He likes to do small independent RPGs or custom rules and custom ways to run Dungeons and Dragons in a much more old school way, like some of the older editions, not necessarily, like the current 5th edition iteration. But again, this the title of this video actually put me off clicking on it because it's that he's used that god-awful title that Discourse uses for every single one of her videos now. But actually, he's being ironic because the video is actually about how bullshit the YouTube algorithm is and why clickbait works and why it's a trap. Do you know what? You can tell this guy's a fucking professor in, an academic, because it's such a clever little video, and it's worth a watch. Again, even if you're not particularly into Dungeons and Dragons, that's not the point of this video. The point about this video is it tries to go some way to explain why YouTube is quite a toxic, shitty environment to actually share content, and it makes it very difficult to build a channel, build an audience, build any kind of loyalty from fans. The whole platform is working against you. So, as I say, probably a little bit meta, my video choices this week, but obviously with all the other stuff I've had to on. Even though I've been off work, I feel like I've been busier than if I've been at work, to be honest. Coupled with having a lousy, stinking cold and other things. So, how are we doing here? What do we think? Are we being a bit too subtle with this dry brushing? I think we might be, to be fair.
Go ham, because you're going to wash the fucker down anyway.
That's that's pretty much it from me. But now you did send me a link on Messenger, mate. It was for. Let me find it. Where the fuck is it? It was for Reign of Hades. Was that to do with? Is that because you wanted it showcasing, or it was to do with what we were talking about with that game?
That was to do with the working
right.
title.
Okay, that's fine. We won't bother sharing that then, because that's something that David and I have been working on in our own time. So that's top secret. That is. Keep it secret. Keep it safe. Well, we done. That's it, I'm afraid, guys, for news. What's going on in the chat?
We have ways of making you talk.
Oh, hang on a minute. What's this? Yeah, no. Do you know what, Darren? I don't watch her videos anymore. Because I just don't. The titles are utter fucking clickbait. They never tell me what the video's about. They never give me any hint. Even though, to be honest with you, I would probably enjoy her videos because I like the way the angle she takes on stuff. But I will not click on videos with those sort of thumbnails and those sort of titles. Tell me what I'm about to watch. Give me some information up front. Don't fucking use the same generic hyperbolic bollocks for every video. I'm done. I'm out. You missed a video. Crown of Command did a very interesting live stream with some dude or other. Crown of Command.
I'll tell you what we will have, though, in the news next week, because it's Adepticon week, isn't it? I know Mantic's Halo stuff's going quite well at Adepticon based on the Instagram post I saw today.
So is Adepticon running now then, or is it coming up?
Yeah, Adepticon's running.
Crown of Command Games on YouTube. I apologise if we get robotic audio for a second, peeps, but I am just I am following the lead from, was it Ewok or Darren? I can't remember who.
I don't know, I'm just busy gluing.
So was it a live stream?
Sail away, sail to the river, right?
Wow, this is an old school one. Oh, I see. I got it. Right, look at that. Now you see, Tim's being all modest. Skip this. Come on, load. So yeah, this is what we should have. Yeah, okay then. Right, I will have to go and watch this then. Well done, Tim. Tim's obviously got invited to guest on this. I will not ask you to spoil what you chatted about, Tim, because I can go and enjoy the content for myself. So yeah, excellent. Well done, that man. Oh dear. Yeah, we're going to definitely have to go, I think, 2 levels of grey, because this is too subtle. Yeah. Right.
I
Go
have
on then.
some news. Who's heard the Owlstorm new song? Uzbekistan.
Not
Guy.
me.
I was listening to it just before 8 o'clock this morning. Very good.
I don't know if we've got any Hailstorm fans in the building. Tim, I don't know. Are you an Hailstorm fan, Tim? You're a bit more classic old school metal, aren't you? You probably, it's all a bit kids being silly, I imagine, for you. And I'm not sure. Yeah, I watched Tim's stream last night, Paul. Oh, do you know what? I haven't heard that yet, although I did see an article in my Google News feed saying that there is opinions that it's probably the best Judas Priest album for like 10 years. Since Painkiller, which is probably more like 15 years or 20 years. Jesus Christ, I'm making myself feel old already. So yeah, okay, I'll have to check that out on my Spotify, Tim.
Just when I was a wee bairn.
Yeah, that looks very subtle and it is just pop punk. Okay, Paul. Just chuck it, just Glory Hammer. Glory Hammer, is that another one of Chris what's his name's bands? I know he's got several.
Yes, he's got. Have you heard his new one,
No.
Froggy?
Yeah, I know it's been 50 years since the first one. What was the first one? Rock-a-Rolla? I think, Tim? Rock-a-rolla woman for a rock-a-rolla man. You can take her if you wanna, if you think you can. That was when Judas Priest were a little weird. Right, okay. So, what have we got? It's coming up for quarter 2. Should we go into the main topic a little bit early? I'm going to have to find a lighter grey. Neutral grey is not cutting it. Should we try light grey?
I'm triggered. Why? I know it's the house design, but I'm triggered.
You're welcome, Darren. Yeah.
Hang on.
Not only can I not sing, but I cannot sing badly with a cold.
Right, come down to my desk cam and I'll show you all why I am triggered.
Video Ninja David, go. Oh, we got.
So we'll look at this nice dormer window set. They're nice and level with one another. Well, as level as I can get them, but they are at the same level.
Oh, dear. What the fuck?
It is designed to be that way, but the actual fuck.
Oh, okay.
They are designed to be like that, but I am triggered because it's the only house that is like this.
Fucking hell. 34 years, Tim. Give me a fucking hell. You were a singer in a metal band at school called Toilet. Have you got a good voice then, Ewok? Or does the band name sort of like betray the fact that no, you haven't? I'm afraid guitars.
No, it's because they were always in the shower, wasn't it? You always sound better when you're in the shower.
Guitar's my thing. I can't. Since puberty, I'm afraid my singing voice went south, which is a shame.
We can go back to the main scene now. I've been triggered.
Hey, look, stop complaining. I did have a word with one of the guys from the Peterborough club, Rob Farley at Chillcon, and he said that his club had bought some of that stuff from Empires at War, is it? And they'd found the quality control a little bit hit and miss. Kits that were cut wrong and didn't fit together. So, but hey ho, such as, I'll be honest, we've had pretty. I mean, you've had pretty good. What did you have? You had one piece that was printed back to front, was it?
Yeah, one piece cut the wrong way round, and one house that was missing its dormer
And that
window
was what,
bit.
out of
So
14? Was it 14 buildings, something like that?
2 out of like 15,
Yeah.
16 buildings.
So, you know, and his stuff isn't expensive in the scheme of things, is it?
No.
So one, you know.
And again, it just looks like the window's blown out. It's not the end
True.
of the world. The dormer being cut the wrong way is slightly more egregious, but
Yeah, like you say, you can make it look like bomb damage, or you can do something with it. Dear. So, yeah, let's chat about. Let's go back.
Chillcon.
Let's
How chill was
go
Chillcon?
to. So, Chillcon was this Ewok bassist, so frustrated vocalist. Oh, but my God, look at that! Look at it's Jesus triangle player. Right. That everybody's discussing their wannabe rock stars in the chat. So it looks like we're all basically the same.
You could have had a slightly bigger smile on your face in that picture.
I could have done, but then that wouldn't have been me, would it?
No, because you're an awkward grouchy bastard.
Let's go. These are literally all of the stills that I took at the show. So, is it? Just let me go to properties. Okay, there should be more than 9 images here. Oh no. Okay. No, I've just had a thought. As everybody might not know, the the OBS has a fucking memory cap on its slideshows. So unless you massively compress your images, you can't use the slideshow function from within it to do shit. So I'm going to have to do this another way and actually use the Windows slideshow function. So just bear with me a moment while I just set that up and get it interacting with OBS. Jesus Christ, this is still not really pale enough. I don't think. Oh, I don't know. Maybe it is. Well, I was using neutral grey. The original primer is ghost grey 50/50 with black. And neutral grey really wasn't pale enough. So now I've gone to light grey 155, and that's not really fucking cutting it either. Although maybe it is. Maybe let me see if I can show everybody. Let's see if we can get my desk cam up, and everybody else can tell me what they think, because I don't.
Give it a little blue pill and you'll be sorted.
Let's hide that because that's fucking useless. Just bear with me. Right, okay.
Your horfebedy.
Come on. Sort your life choices out. Right, here we go. So, what do we think? As the dry brushing, is that intense enough? My lighting is quite bright here, which I suppose is making that a bit tricky. I suppose it's picked up the edges, hasn't it? Which is what we want. And we knew it wasn't going to pick up the texture on the paving because it's just too flat. Yeah, that.
Yeah, I think you might
Yeah,
get
I
away with
think I
that.
will. I won't try and go. The problem is like where am I going to go from that? Sky grey. You know, it'll end up being virtually
Yeah, a
white,
bit
won't it?
pale, a bit weird. Yeah.
Yeah, the weather was a bit crap. My career ended as a slide projectionist in a goth band. What the fuck, Ewok? You can't say that you've not lived an interesting
Right.
life, mate.
Yeah.
Holly's four-sided triangle from Red Dwarf. Oh dear. Well, that's the problem, innit, Paul? That's exactly where it'll end up going. It'll be bloody white by the time I've finished. Right, let's do this bullshit here. So we want to go to this PC. Da 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 da. Chillcon media. Stills. Select all. Picture tools. Slideshow. Pause. Okay, that's the slideshow created. Is it now? Yay! Right, now the only other drawback with this is, of course, I won't be able to see chat while I'm fucking pissing about with the slideshow. So here we go.
You're good at the
Here we
moment.
go. So yeah, weather was a little bit grim when we got there. It was absolutely hosing it down, but I did get there in plenty of time, even though it was a good 2 hours journey, so not exactly on my doorstep. But yeah, I would say, mate, it's about the same size as Hereward Wargame Show. It was spread across.
Can I just
Yep.
interrupt you a second? Paul Howes has asked if you've kept the tasteful one of me just for your wank bank.
Kept the what?
Kept the tasteful picture of him,
Yeah.
i.e. Paul from Handyman, for yourself, i.e. your wank bank.
To be honest with you, Paul, you're probably going to be coming up any time. And you definitely feature or are you featured? I can't remember if I used, because I did have a video footage of, I think, of you talking to somebody at your table, and I can't remember if I ended up using it in my video or not. So what I will say is, there is a video going live at midnight tonight here on YouTube. Basically, in that video, I got interviews with 7 different exhibitors who were showing games or products. Paul is one of them. So if you want a deep dive on those, I will mention which ones it is as we go through the stills and stuff. But if you want a deep dive on that, and if you want to hear what they've got to say, that video, as I say, will be going live from midnight, so you can find that on our channel. This is the first. These guys are the first ones. They're basically the first people as I spoke to in Hall A. I think his name's Dan. I can't remember, but it's in the video. I had a chat with this guy. He runs a place called Lion's Tower. Have you ever come across these, mate?
Yes, Lion's Tower.
They do. They do
stuff.
some fucking gorgeous STLs.
Their minis are quite
pretty.
I
got quite a lot of video footage of their miniature cabinet. They got some really lovely painted stuff. Like a lot of these guys who do miniatures and STLs, they're getting into the game market as well. So they've got this board game cum miniatures game called Crystal Collapse. There isn't too much information here, but I've got some video footage of it over in the video, which will be live from tomorrow. Basically, it's from what they were saying, It's a pseudo board game or skirmish level miniatures game played on a grid. Very positional, so you need to get behind your enemy or flank them to get bonuses for your attacks. The RNG is, I think, a mixture of dice and playing cards. Looks quite interesting in the way that it works. Seems quite light, not very intense. I don't know much about the lore. One of the drawbacks with being on my own was I didn't really have an opportunity to try and play these games because I just wanted to get round and speak to everybody, which is a bit of a shame. And it's also one of the reasons that sometimes these one-day shows, particularly like this on a Sunday, which is literally like 10 till 4, it was only open 6 hours. By the time you've taken a break for lunch, it's not a lot of time at all to get around stuff. The next thing that I saw was a demonstration game for Silver Bayonet. I think this was a local gaming club that were doing this, Derby War Game Society or somebody like that. Actually, no, I think it was guys who just play at the local shop. Ewok will tell you what what's the local retailer. They had a trade stand. Ewok, just shout it out because I didn't realise. I met Ewok on the day, because I didn't realise Derby was his stomping ground. So yeah, this was one of the missions from the Canada supplement for what the fuck's it? Silver Bayonet. Nice looking table.
Paul,
yeah.
Paul, you're not sharing your pictures.
Oh,
it's rude.
Oh fuck. Sorry everybody, this is one of the problems with being on the... Right, let's go back. Okay.
I'm sorry I was building miniatures, boys and girls.
Lion's Tower, Crystal Collapse.
I'm sorry
see the video live tomorrow. Silver Bayonet. Canada mission, nice looking table. They did tweak the rules because they said that this is like a river mission, and they said that what they found with playtesting was it's a bit non-interactive because people just form up on the banks of the river and then just shoot the shit out of each other with muskets. So what they did was they introduced these. If you look in the bottom left corner of that bottom right corner of the picture, you'll notice a grizzly bear. So what happens is, after about turn 2 or 3, these grizzly bears come on the table and start chasing everybody into the river, which I thought was quite a cool little idea to make the game work slightly better. So I got a few pics of that. Nice looking table. A lot of the tables did look very good, to be fair. They had some nice display material that Osprey sent them for free and gratis as well. So good on Osprey. It really drew the eye to their stand. Somebody was playing, I think they swapped their table out and were playing Conquest, Last Argument of Kings, is it? In the afternoon. But I didn't get around to see that table, so I don't know what it looked like. This is Laser Cut Architect. This is a guy, I think his name's Darren. Used to work for Foreground, and you can really tell in he designs MDF terrain. Again, I featured him in the video that's going live tomorrow, so I won't talk too much about it. There are links to his store and his stuff in the video description of that video. Really nice looking MDF terrain. Not pre-coloured, sadly. I did sort of like grill him on why he decided not to go to the pre-coloured route, but it's just cost. It would make his product so expensive. He thinks it would reduce the demand beyond the point where he could sort of stand it, which is a shame. Because obviously, as he used to work for Foreground, he's very confident and familiar with the whole pre-coloured market and what techniques and that you'd need to do, but he just made a business decision not to bother with it. Having said that, his stuff looked really good and it had some nice touches, like this big shot here. You can see there's this sort of like massive, colossal gate house in this like, I don't know, sort of like Gothic wall structure. And it's all completely adaptable, so you can just take the gate out and turn it round, and it stands itself up. So you can have the gate up or the gate down. He's got some really nice touches in his products. But and again, until you buy stuff and start working on it, you can't really tell how much work it is to paint it. But it doesn't look too bad. He's kept a lot of his, a lot of its simple geometric shapes and not too fussy. So it probably wouldn't be too bad to get table ready. I'm just disappointed it wasn't pre-painted, because I like my pre-painted stuff. Anything that saves me time. So yeah, what else did we have? This is another demonstration game. This was Kings of War. Just a small, I think that's 3x3 mat. Literally just a small couple of units aside. This was very much, if you were a beginner or a first timer and want to give it a try, that's what they're there for.
So we've just got here in chat, because I know you can't see chat. That Darren never noticed the lack of pictures. He was too absorbed in painting. Ewok wasn't born in Derby, so he's got no webbed feet. And then Paul was saying it was really nice, the laser cut architect stuff. Magnet holes, so you can add magnets and snap them together using 3mm cube or spherical magnets. And the entrance to Jabba's palace, which coincidentally was a pet name for half of an X.
Yeah, that is very true. The modularity is the biggest selling point, I think, from that laser cut architect stuff. It's a bit tricky to see from the pictures. Well, this one displays it. So, like, instead of doing buildings, it's literally just sections of buildings. So you've got like those hexagonal, three-sided sort of edges, and then you can put as many of the rectangular sections in the middle, and you just create longer rooms. And that modularity applies to his walls. Even you can have sort of joining corridors. You can even swap out the roofs. He's got like concave roofs, convex roofs. Loads of little changeable details to make the product something flexible that you can do a lot with. Obviously, again, the magnetization is yet another step, I guess, but I can, at the end of the day, he's trying to give himself a unique selling point with that modularity. It's something that you see in a lot of the plastic print STL stuff, isn't it, mate? Like you did all that.
Yes, it is.
You backed all that.
The bridge
stuff for Infinity. That
Clicklock. Not Clicklock City.
That something City. Flatline City. That's it. Well done. Because that's the same idea, isn't it? Everything's designed to be modular, but you print it in bits.
And what's the other thing? The bridges I did here that have the little open lock clips in the end of them.
Really nice paint jobs on these minis. There's really nice looking table as well for just a demonstration table. It's like I said before, a lot of the stuff was really the quality. Don't get me wrong, Chillcon is quite a small venue. You've got 2 halls, probably only about 20 exhibitors in each. We're not talking UK Games Expo here, guys. This is just a local show. But
I will say though, you get some good things at those little.
Well, to be honest with you, I'm really pleased with what stuff is in. I got recorded on the day, because like I was saying, size isn't everything. Whoa, hey! The a lot of the tables were really good quality. The demonstration tables, they looked really nice. And you know, for a small 6-hour event, it's always been my issue with Salute. I know Salute is like very prestigious and it's one of the big guys, and you know, it's a very big event. But I would find the whole thing of going to Salute stressful as fuck, because it's got a massive scale, but it's only a single day. This was Warlord's stand.
Yes.
Didn't get too many pictures of it, but as usual, Warlord had an absolutely beautiful fucking table. Got a desert table here, you can see it in the bottom right, covered with fantastic miniatures, little bit of a North Africa skirmish going on. Looked absolutely gorgeous. This is AWA Games, the guys behind War on Terror. They're definitely hitting the ground running with their business, I tell you. They've already got 3 products in the pipeline now. War on Terror is just delivering its Kickstarter imminently. And they've got 2 other board games. Again, there is a lot about their new board games in the video that goes live tomorrow, so you might want to check that out if you're interested. David and I have...
And if you like tables,
Yeah,
I will say that if you like a table, go watch the video.
I can't remember the chap's name. The guy in the centre of the image is the one I spoke to. I can't remember his name. Sorry, I apologise. But he did say about they've got this board game called Trade and Conquest, I think it is, and it looked like a fucking beast of a board game. And he said at one point about just getting the board game out and having a weekend of it. And I was like, what the fuck is this? The board game equivalent of a full game of 40k or what? These guys don't their whole game ethos, they don't do light and snappy. Well, not on the face of it, because War on Terror is a bit of a table beast as well, isn't it, mate? You and I did. I mean, I will say their miniatures are looking good. I do like the design aesthetic.
Again, we said that at the time with UKGE. I know we've been rather critical of these guys occasionally.
These greys as well look fucking amazing.
The greys are an awesome 1950s sci-fi, just traditional alien style. They are really nice. They're really well sculpted. The like Enforcer equivalent dudes, like the
these
humanoids.
Things. I love the helmet. I love the helmets with the goldfish bowl.
Yeah, I like the helmets. I am not overly a fan of their proportions of the sculpt. They're just a little too blocky for me. The tank in the background, though, is fucking amazing. I do like that tank and how that's sculpted.
The Thundercat.
So it's a bit of pick your flavor.
Yeah, it's a shame because we were really put off. The 2 things that put me off, you can just about see it in this image here. If you look on the far right next to the demonstration table, it's just loads of charts. Everything's got a lookup chart in this game, which I was like, no. And the other thing that put me off was variable modifiers. So, like, you don't just have -2 to hit for cover, you have -D4 to hit or -D6 to hit. And it just, like, seemed dice rolling for the sake of dice rolling. Which is a real shame, because I do like to get excited about new games, but I couldn't get super excited about this, sadly.
You couldn't get as
no, I just couldn't see what they were going for.
And don't get me wrong,
do you know what,
nice. Though, if you can live with some tables,
yeah, maybe
nice.
We should probably play a full demo game if we get a chance and we see them at another con. Just, actual, because we did play like a little squad skirmish, which seemed really fucking weird. Yeah. But maybe we should give it another go. I don't know. We'll have to see. So what else do we have? So this is that huge epic fucking, again, you can see the player sheets up in the top center. They're just basically like algebra tables. They're just, look at it. Fucking hell. I'll be honest, I don't think this isn't my sort of board game. It's not my sort. I like board games with a bit more narrative and storytelling in. This just seems like a massive number crunch. Another demonstration game. This was a really nice looking table for Dead Zone. It's Mantic Games getting the represent. All 3D printed, I think the guy said.
No, it's not.
I think it is. Although you might have some Mantic stuff, the cubey stuff. I know that a lot of it was printed. Yeah, no, that is Mantic. So he's got a mixture of printed and Dead Zone train. Either that or they're Mantic rip-offs, but I don't see mold lines. Don't see layer lines on it, so it's probably Mantic stuff. But yeah, great.
That, or he's just very good at hiding his layer lines.
Yeah, it's not possible. Tim says you can't hide them. So yeah, good looking table. Just so that I remembered what it was.
Ewok said, I don't know why Warlord bothered. Everything was RRP.
No, Warlord never.
Darren saying that there's some very tasty tables.
Do you know what? Warlord never discount though. They don't discount heavily at UKGE. I think for them, the shows are about the exposure.
Yeah.
They're not there to give you steals.
Ewok has just made a good point. If you're a war game, be a war game. If you're a board game, be a board game. Don't try and be one on both.
Well, to be fair, that is. Is that a criticism of Dead Zone, Ewok? With its sort of movement by cubes. That's fair enough, mate. I happen to quite like Dead Zone. But I do know what you mean. I would say it's probably more of a tactical war game, board game rather, than a full fat war game. But the thing is, mate, the lines are getting blurred now. Ewok, the lines are getting very blurred. I mean, we're seeing more and more miniatures based board games that are almost war games, and you're seeing a lot of war games that have got a foot or two in bloody the board game market. I mean, we were just talking about Crystal Collapse. That's got some very board gamey elements. Warhammer.
I just had to dive out.
Yeah, Warhammer Underworlds is a game that we've talked about a lot. That's got a foot in both camps, really. I mean, it is a board game, but it's got miniatures and a lot of the elements that make a war game. So I think the lines are blurring. This was the guys from Peterborough. They were running a table for Battletech First Strike. Is it First Strike? It's the version of Battletech that doesn't use the hexes, which is why there's...
Is it not
Alpha Strike? That's it. Thank you, mate. Yes. That's why we have David here, because he can remember what shit is called, because he's not old like I am. But yes, Alpha Strike, that's correct. Basically, it's just Battletech, but without the silly little hex grid. So, I'll be honest, if I was to get into any species of...
You'll be getting complaints from a certain German.
Look, I'm not knocking it. If you want to do it, you do it. I would never do it because I do not want to create or collect a terrain set that is specific to one game and only one game or one type of game. To actually be able to play Battletech on the same terrain that I play, I don't know, fucking Epic, 40k Epic, or Drop Zone Commander, or whatever, then for me that's a no-brainer. What do you reckon, mate?
Oh, I'm with you. I'm just busy.
I think you're quite you. When we talked about it before, that I think you'd be quite up for the hex thing, wouldn't you? Because when we
Yeah,
did try
I
it
think
at
it just makes.
Peterborough, was it? We played at Hereward.
Yeah, it was, mate. I was quite particular on it because again, it's just a bit enjoyable. It's just a bit different.
I guess. I mean, again, as long as you're up for the terrain, and the work, yeah, fill your boots. I'm not going to criticise you. I just know that if I'm doing it, this is what I would do. Some game that I can just play with standard terrain and miniatures.
I will say
Yeah.
though, those pylons are fucking out of
Yes,
scale.
you did. You commented on that as soon as you saw the pictures. I'm assuming a lot of the stuff's 3D printed. I don't know what scale should BattleTech
A
be.
board game for me needs to be more self-contained, whereas a wargame skirmish game are more open and expansive in terms of what you can try and bring to the table.
Right, okay, yeah. So a lot more flexible in like what forces you can play and that sort of thing, Ewok. Whereas, which I suppose is where Underworlds is very much a board game because they sell you the warbands and they're in discrete little boxes. God Tier's the same, isn't it? You buy your warband, it is a locked thing. There's no list building, there's no messing about. But yeah, that's an interesting thing actually. That's a really good way to come at it from sort of like where would you put it in the camp from list. So for you, Ewok, it's list building. If you've got massive flexibility, it's probably a wargaming. If you're a bit more restricted, it's probably board game. Interesting.
Hang on, did I shake my... I don't think I shake my dirty down rust enough.
Well, to be fair, you can't overshake that stuff. It's like fucking bloody jelly, isn't it?
It's fucking solid. I can't even hear the fucking ball shaking at the moment. There we go.
You have to get yourself a vortex mixer. So yeah, there was the Peterborough War Games guys doing their BattleTech. Again, great looking table, really. I love the railway lines and the roads and the rivers. Those are the rivers from that I've got. I think are the Gale Force 9 ones. Battlefield in a box. The good rivers. They're like a rubber that lays quite flat, and the coloration's quite gentle as well. It's not neon blue. Some of the river stuff that you buy pre-finished is like a ridiculous shade of blue. I don't know what rivers they were looking at. Then we got this. This is again fantastic table. Basically, Undaunted Battle of Britain is a board game that you play on little cardboard tiles. You can just see it in the bottom left-hand corner there. And this complete nut job basically converted or created a tabletop version of the board game using miniatures and custom plastic tiles and it fucking absolute mad lad project. But it looked fantastic. Again, great thing to see at a little con. Kind of thing that you'd never see at like a big event because it's just some nutter who's got a passion for something and just thought, oh, I know what would be cool. I suppose the example from UK Games Expo was the guy who did the huge
massive.
Yeah, that's it. The Napoleonics Risk mega table, just because he could. It's much more. This is much more the stuff that you see at the smaller shows, and which is why I enjoy them so much. So yeah, a fantastic little job. Then we got another beautiful looking demonstration game. This was Dead Man's Hand. Sadly, for everybody who's thinking the same as I did when they walked up to this table, Jesus Christ, those buildings look cool. Where did they get them? They're all foreground, all no longer available, which is an absolute fucking crying shame. You don't even see this stuff in the second-hand market because when people have got it, they just hang on to it until they die. It's such a shame that they went under.
So what you're saying is there may be a market surplus in anywhere between 40 to
Yeah,
60 years.
yeah, probably. No sooner than that. I wouldn't have thought. But yeah, really fantastic looking table, great looking miniatures, and then I don't know what the scenario was, but basically they had like all these corpses bleeding out in Main Street. It was just a bit gruesome, maybe, but I thought that was a really nice touch. And it just made the table look amazing. Considering there's not a lot on this table, it just looks great. It just looks great, even with so little on it. Another fantastic, fantastic looking,
You don't, mate.
another fantastic looking table. This was Burrows and Badgers. Again, just some mad lad with a passion. He owns virtually everything that Oathsworn have ever done for Burrows and Badgers. Almost, but not quite. We talked about his obsession and trying to collect every model ever made for it. But absolutely gorgeous table. He was running this with about 6 to 8 people. He'd come up with a custom initiative system using a deck of cards, which is what you can see those playing cards there. Just a clever little touch, just to make the game work better for what he wanted it to. Yeah, for a convention game. Beautiful miniatures, beautiful terrain. The whole thing's a fucking work of gorgeousness. It just looks fairy tale. Even the river is ridiculous colour. All of the scatter stuff, it's just brilliant. This was right. So this, from talking about contrasts, whereas the last thing was fantasy and whimsy and animals with weapons, we go to the super dry Napoleonics hardcore mode. Derby Wargame Society doing a reenactment of the Battle of Lindenau from 1813. This is dry historicals, as dry as you like. It did look beautiful. They did explain to me, I think basically what's happening is, I think the French are getting a kicking in Austria and they've been forced to basically retreat, and this town Lindenau is basically one of their fallback positions, and the Austrians and their allies are basically trying to take the town, so the French have got no fallback position and the army gets trapped and they can just be wiped out. So obviously you've got basically the French trying to secure the town, while the attackers try and take it from them. These guys, it wasn't a demonstration, it wasn't a participation game, this one. Basically the guys were just sort of like playing it all the time I was there and just working their way slowly through it. I think the rule set was General de Brigade. I'm not big on my Napoleonics. The amount what I know on Napoleonics you can write on the back of a postage stamp. So I'll leave you guys to decide whether that's a good rule set or not. This guy is the only guy I wanted to have a chat to but didn't, because he was always bloody busy chatting to somebody else. He basically had this, looks like sort of like a puzzle game, with pyramid bits, but that's all I know. Apart from he's got absolutely beautiful eye-catching signage, and the man is just like one of the most outgoing and gregarious personalities in the world. I don't know anything else, because every time I double back to try and get a chat with him, he was just deep in conversation with someone. Colourforge they were selling stuff there. This was boards and swords. This was that retailer, I think, that Ewoks probably shouted out. I think these are a local game store.
That's a very good tree. They're all historical D&D down there, but a really nice crowd.
Oh yeah, they were.
We dazzled them with our Kings of War game. The Ewok said we dazzled them with our Kings of War game. Oh, excellent!
Well done. I mean, yeah, they were really friendly guys. We had a bit of a quip, but as I say, it's just unfortunate. Again, it's a shame, because I would have liked to have you know, sat down with them and watched them play through, because I could quite get into like hardcore Napoleonics. I think I'm reached that time in my life where I'm not scared of the historicals.
You've got
Yes,
old.
definitely. But as I say, I just couldn't find the time. So the Boards and Swords had a great stand at the show. They had so much stuff there that I bought myself some Malifaux. I treated myself to some the taxidermist set for the Bayou, which are basically the two weird gremlins that build the Frankenstein exploding pigs out of corpses. Because obviously Malifaux's a little bit weird. But yeah, they had a great selection of, and it wasn't. What was good was it wasn't just fucking GW stuff. It was like they'd got Conquest and loads of fucking shit there. Malifaux.
Paul asked when are you getting to him?
Paul features in the video tomorrow. So I don't know as well. I don't know that I've got any stills for you, Paul.
Might just pull a picture up.
I'll have a look and see, Paul, what I've got, because I know that I videoed most of the stuff I shot with you was video, which is in that video that's going live tomorrow. This was my fanboy moment. I bumped into Dave from MS Paints. I didn't bump into Dave from MS Paints. I stalked Dave from MS Paints because I knew he was going to be there.
You hunted him down like a man.
Because I saw, I think he was doing some sort of paint clinic. So I saw he was going to be there. So yeah, I literally hunted him down and forced him to have a selfie with me, which was fucking amazing. Lovely guy. This was another.
Your beards are the same shade of ginger, just saying.
Mine's greyer, mate. To be fair, they could both do with a clean. Fucking a couple of scruffy bastards. This was another great gaming retailer. Pit Stop Gaming, I think it was. What did I buy from here? I bought some 7TV stuff from these guys. They'd got loads of stuff. And do you know what? 20% off everything except the 7TV stuff. So that was a bit of a shit. Didn't really get a chance to see much of these guys. I've never come across Hayland.
I've seen Pit Stop before at Dicini.
You've seen these, have you?
Yeah, I've seen Pit Stop at Dicini.
Right. Sorry, Pit Stop. So my next one is Hayland. I mean, Pit Stop are just a retailer. They had a big old stand and they had plenty of stuff there, but shopping, innit? They did have some Team Yankee boxes, but they weren't great value. They were like basically RRP 90 odd quid. Hayland. Now it says HaylandTerrain.com, but these guys mostly seem to be miniatures. Blistered miniatures. They did have a great range, and there seemed to be a lot of old school metal. But I've never heard of these guys before.
No, I've never heard of them before either, mate.
So yeah, that's maybe one I will do some research on and hunt out. See if I can find a bit more about them, because they've got loads of miniature ranges. So I'll have to check them out. They look quite interesting. Magic Geek was just another little retail stand. They had a lot of board games. There are a lot of Magic the Gathering, Commander shit. There are loads of pre-built, pre-con Commander decks there. Iron Gate Scenery, we know these guys, don't we, mate? We both spent a ton of money.
Not intimately, but you know what I mean.
We spend too much money there. I managed to not spend anything at Iron Gate Scenery, so I was quite chuffed with myself. Because
what are you doing with your life? What are you doing with the real Paul?
To be fair, what I did was, well, as I walked towards them, I thought, yeah, I've still got all that stuff I bought at UK Games Expo in that plastic tote that I haven't even touched yet. So then I turned and walked away, feeling ashamed of myself. But their stuff is really nice. So I'm sure I'll spend some money. Valkyrie RPG, another little retailer just doing weird little dice and.
I read the very first little bit of that message, Ewok, of I got a child. Completely missed the catcher miniature from Hayland. I just saw basically Ewok admitting that he's kidnapped children.
So he got a
that's how I read that
child
message.
catcher miniature.
Yes, he did, apparently.
Okay, that sounds weird. So, okay, I'm guessing that's one of their freaky, weird, medieval-y ones. Oh, come on.
Paul,
Fucking kidding.
mute your Discord. It's apparently bleeping.
Okay. Thank you, guys. This is why we don't have Discord running. Let's close Discord. There you go. So, Relic Blade.
Where did my makeup sponge go that I had? There it is.
They were there with, what's the name of that? Exit Games, isn't it? They were there with Relic Blade, and the Turbo
Exit
Dorks.
23 games.
Exit 23, thank you, mate. Yeah, they were there with their Turbo Dork and Relic Blade.
You mean you went to a con and you didn't buy any colour shifty goodness?
No, I didn't. I was really good. I literally picked up some 7TV stuff. I picked up a Cthulhu adventure for 7TV because that's a game I want to start playing. And I picked up a Malifaux crew, well, not a crew, but a little Malifaux box set. And what else did I pick up? Oh, I picked up a couple of brushes, actually.
Where was that from? Was that from ABC?
Game T. That's exit 23. That's the Relic Bay table, really blurred. That's the end of Hall A. So then we get to Hall B. This was a Drop Zone Commander table, sort of demonstration game or participation game. Like David said, the thing that jumps out about this is they've done a really good job on tarting up the terrain, the cardboard terrain
The
that you could get.
cardboard scenery.
Just using some flocks and some just to stain the bottoms of the buildings and put them on bases adds a lot to it. And look at the car barricades. The painting's really good on some of the terrain bits. So yeah, that was a nice little table, and again another fantastic looking little table. These are just some of the retailers. Tangent Miniatures, we saw them at Peterborough, didn't we, mate?
Did we?
Yeah, Tangent. I think didn't you buy some stuff from them?
Oh yes, I did. That's the place I bought my Space Station Zero crew from.
Yep. Your weird exotic spacey dwarf things. Yes. War paint figures. Oh yeah, this was the other thing I bought. I actually bought some of this guy's pre-finished jungle terrain because I want to get my bolt action, this stuff here. I want to get my Pacific bolt action table ready to play, and he did a deal for the event, so you could get a nice discount on a bundle deal, a save on the postage. So I was like, yeah, it'd be rude not to. So I bought some of that. His desert stuff looks quite smart as well.
I did see his desert stuff. In the pictures we scrolled through and was like, oh, that's pretty.
I'm gonna have to check out his online shop a bit more because he does tufts and miniatures and all sorts of things. So I think it's a bit like Iron Gate for his. He does a lot of like
Yeah.
accessory miniatures and scattered decoration and that sort of thing. But there's definitely a lot to look at there. So we're going to be doing some research on him. He's got little resin boats. This was a guy called. I can't
Sorry,
remember.
boys and girls, I'm just a bit busy with applying my thinner
This
to
guy
clear these barricades.
is in the video tomorrow. I can't remember his name. His first name might have been Daniel. I can't remember. Daniel sounds about right. Basically, he's doing like his own version of like the Jackson Livingston Fighting Fantasy books. Pick your own adventure type thing. Quite a cool little idea. He's got 4 or 5 books out, all available at Amazon. So, I don't know if you've kid friendly. So, I don't know if you've got a teenager that likes that sort of fighting fantasy puzzle book type stuff. You might want to check them out. Again, they're in the video tomorrow. There's some like again another one of these generic retailers that's selling dice trays and D&D dice and crystals and weird stuff. Fan Crafted was the name of them.
Ewok.
ABC, yeah,
with
ABC brushes. You were right, mate.
Ewok wasn't impressed with the what's it called?
What?
Jungle stuff.
Look, Ewok. It's not impressive. I'll give you that. It is what it is. Which for me is like 2 days' work saved. The one thing I do like is the plastic sort of aquarium plants and artificial plant things that is used are nice muted palette. So it's not too in your face, which is quite good. But it is, you can definitely see where they're attached to the base. He hasn't even tried to submerge it in the ground cover. But could I make better myself? Yeah, of course I could. But could I make better for myself enough that A, it matters at a wargaming distance, and B, that I can't be doing something better with that time? The answer is no. I can't. So I was happy to give the guy my money, and I'll be brutally honest, having brought home what I've got, played with it, and put it out on a 6x4, I will definitely buying some more of the larger pieces. I think I've got enough of the smaller scatter stuff, but I want some more of the larger bits. ABC brushes, he had some a good selection here. Mostly synthetics. He didn't have a great range of the sables, to be fair, except for them being in like sets. And I hate buying brushes in sets where you only use like 2 out of the fucking selection. And then we've got a load of stills of the painting competition, which was frankly fucking huge. There was loads of stuff in the painting comp, and some of it looked amazing. But again, most of the stuff that I did for painting comp was actually video, not stills. In fact, what I can do. So let's go back to here. So let's go back. So that's basically the slideshow. That's not too bad. It's 22. So that's. Paul bought one of the adventure game books. Is it any good, mate? If you want more details, Darren, check out my video tomorrow. Choose your own, pick your path adventures, I think it is. Sorry, mate, what were you going to say?
As I said to you, I'm a bit annoyed that I missed it because it looked like it was quite a good show.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, with the actually, shall we touch on the difficulties here whilst we're on stream? of the conversation you had. I think it was with Steve, one of the organisers.
Yeah, so just to basically what Steve said was that they use MailChimp to send out the notifications for both exhibitors, retailers, and the press guys, the press passes. But none of the emails got sent, and he wasn't aware until somebody sort of like messaged him saying, you know, what the fucking hell's going on? Are you having this event or what? Do you know what I mean? And he was like, oh shit. And then they found out they'd got a problem. So basically, they didn't. That's why we only got notification that we'd got an invite at like 10 o'clock on the Friday night before. So you know, it's one of them things. Shit happens. Couldn't be helped, but it is a shame because obviously with David having made plans, he meant he couldn't go. Let's. Yeah, that's. You see, I've got 3 videos here for you, Pandy, but no pictures.
Steve is the chief.
Yeah, it was. He's the guy who sort of like met me when I went. When I first got there. Oh, I tell you what though. So yeah, I apologise. If anybody wants to see Paul's gorgeous table that we showed off by photo the other week, and hear Paul talking about what he's got coming up for Trench Offensive, that's in the video that goes live tomorrow. So you can check it out there. What else I will share with everybody, as part of our press pack, they did give us a little goodie bag, which was really nice of them. So let me just bring my camera on.
Are you doing a swag haul?
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not going to be a fucking mega, but I thought it was really nice. So I thought I'll give them a shout out. I'll give this a shout out, and then I'll give my what did I think was negative about the show, or what are my concerns, or what are the problems. So we got a mug, Chillcon, which is quite cool.
Nice.
We got a free 3D printed alien from War on Terror.
That looks fucking baller.
Well, that's good because I've got 2, so you've got 1 as well.
Awesome. I think we should have a paint off.
Do you know what? That's exactly what I thought, which is why I got you a second one. They also, in the swag bag, was also a natty little dice tray with Chillcon on it, and the War on Terror art that they'd obviously got done with the guys from War on Terror.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, as I say, it was just a nice little touch. I think that was it. There was a miniature, the mug, the dice tray, just yeah, that's it. But I always thought it was quite cool. Food was good. There was enough there. They'd got like a refectory at because it's like a school, I think, the actual venue. There was a refectory there, and they had a couple of food vans. They had like a loaded fries concession, and somebody doing Oriental food. So there were options. There was I think there was other stuff within, walking distance or a short drive if you didn't want to pay the exorbitant money for some of the concession food. But it is what it is at these events. As long as you can get some food, that's all you can hope for, really.
I want to show something off in a second.
Looks like it. You guys will have to tell us what was in the swag bag, because being press, we didn't get the swag bag. So if you want to send me pictures of what was in it, I can share them next week. Because as I say, we just got a press bag which had that in it, basically. What else was there? Oh yeah, my biggest concern for the event is parking, because
What?
they only have 120 parking spaces at that school, according to their website.
Yeah.
And I think that, unless they can get people to use public transport, that's gonna fill up super fucking quick.
Can I get opinions
Yeah, go for it.
on the minicam?
Yeah, just switching you over now, mate. So yeah, that's ooh. That's looking good. The color intensity seems better on the small one. Yeah, those have got a lot more darkness to it. That one looks a bit washed out, the one you're holding. Were you a bit timid with it?
Yeah, I've gone variable along them.
Yeah.
I've done different ones.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Because basically what I've done is I've put dirty down rust in the corners, or to give some streaking, and then all this other streaking is oil paint. And we've gone for different levels and intensities. We've got some quite dark streaking.
Yeah.
And little bits rust in the corners, and then we went a bit shyer with it and just really rusted the corners up, and then we've gone like paler along it and everything. I quite like these.
Cheese says, "Have you shit on the wall?"
Fuck you, Cheese Me.
Rude. Although Darren says they look great. I think they look really good, mate. I do prefer the darker ones. I know what you're saying about making it look more varied. The one where it's like a bit washed, a bit thin, I'm not sure about. But I do like the ones where it's really quite dark, even when you've got the streaking.
Right. Well, again, these were just, I think, like a £9 set from TT Combat. I've just done a grey and then a bit of a zenithal to them.
Yeah.
A dry brush, and then just paint a detail in and put some streaking on. That's it. They're done. I'm not doing anything more to them. They're done for what I want. They've got some streaking of like various burns and intensities across all the walls. Some of it's quite pale, some of it's quite faint. It just sort of sets the scene, and there's a couple that have got like little rusty holes in them that are laser etched in, so I painted them in a different colour just to give them a bit of a background, then put the dirty down rust in. The
other thing that I will say that's a bit of a plus for Chillcon, if you're into that sort of thing, I guess, is because it is so close to Nottingham. I got my selfie with Dave, but loads of the other sort of like faces from the industry were there. I saw Peachy getting some grub. He was there with his other half, I think. Benji from Benji's Hobbies was there. Sorry, mate, go on.
No, I know what Ewok's saying about blaster burns. I haven't really been able to pull it off properly. So rather than risk it, I just say fuck it and do rusting and streaking that I know how to do.
Have you got a recipe or a method for blaster burns that you can share, Ewok? Or have you done a project on it or anything?
Right, you can go away from my camera, sir.
Cool. So yeah, Annie from Bad Squidoo was there. As I say, I think the fact that you're so close to Nottingham, you're going to get those sort of people in the area, or maybe attending.
Well, again, it's only like half-hour drive for them, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. So,
It's really not bad. Ow, my fucking jaw.
as I say, a great chance to sort of like meet some of the alumni, the illuminated individuals of the hobby. Grab some selfies and whatever, autographs if that's your bag.
Drop of glue and some powder, says Ewok.
A drop of glue and some powder.
Pigment powder.
Ah. See, as easy as that.
To be fair, I may put some pigments over these just to sort of blend them in a bit.
You should have a go, mate, if it's that easy. Give it a squiz.
I'll have a look. But again, I don't think I've done too badly tonight. I've got my final 2 buildings built. I'm leaving my church, and I've got my streaking done on these walls that have been bugging me for a while.
I'll show off. Let's move this across here. This is what I'm quite impressed with what I managed to get done, to be honest. So there's some of the dry brushing's a bit ropey. I've caught that one a bit hard at the top. You can see it's a bit streaked. But
yeah,
and
some
this one
on it, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not panicking because like David's just said, once I wallop some fucking Nuln Oil and greens.
Oh, did you want that to try?
I did, yes. Because I want to know whether that's worth getting.
I'll bring it to club on Monday.
Yeah, okay, buddy.
And then you can have it to try because we're not meeting up this weekend, are we?
I don't know. I've no definite plans. We could do.
I'll talk to you about it after.
Yeah, we'll chat about it after. I mean, these bridges are just. I think these are great. Like 3 for £9. The span on them is massive.
Three for £9, right? You do 2 sets of 6. Do 3 in the grey like you've done. Do 3 in like a sandstone. Pretty much sorted.
Yeah, I mean, again, at this money, I've made these for the Frostgrave scenario. I'll probably buy some more for Carnivale because, again, like you say, I can do different shades of stone, and I might even be able to, like, I could even do the paving, painting maybe patterns using marbles.
I've just had a thought, and I don't know how you want to be, right? You could give them a marble effect. Paint them black, and then stretch a wet wipe over them once it's dried out.
Yeah.
Spray the white over.
Yeah.
I think that'd look baller as hell.
To do like a marble effect for like Carnivale. Yeah. Yes, Jeff Bridges, very good Ewok. Oh my god. Ewok says if you want to be really fancy, use a small hollow tube to apply the glue, so you get a hole in the middle of it. Clever. I bet that looks really good, actually. Oh, I see what you're saying. One very wide bridge. What if I put them all together? Yeah, could do that, but no, they're probably best split up. To be honest with you, if you want a really wide bridge, I can't remember what it's called, but
they do a wider one that's got railings on.
I think it's about £18, so it's still not ever so expensive, but it has an 8-inch span, so it's literally like the width of my hobby desk, and it's I think 3 times as wide as this. It is fucking stupidly big. But TT Combat do some great terrain. It has to be said.
They do.
Just wish it was pre-coloured. Boo-hoo. But I can't complain. I mean, Jesus Christ. What have these taken? About 4 hours. It's basically just 2 live streams, and that's all it is. Well, we're coming up to time. Bit of a change of pace this week. What with talking about Chillcon. To be honest,
start of the season though, isn't it?
I guess
It's
it
only
is.
upwards from here.
Yeah, I guess it is probably one of the first. I don't know if there are any cons before it in the year. So the next one up is we've got the first Partisan is coming up.
When's Dicini?
Hang on a second.
Let me go look.
So you look at Dicini, I'll look at Partisan.
Dicini 2024 is May 5th.
Oh, bloody hell. So Dicini's May the 5th.
In Norwich on a Sunday. That's going to be baller.
Partisan War Games.
That reminds me. Let me go check my calendar.
Partisan is. We need to start planning. I think one thing that I.
Yeah, May 5th.
Yeah, and I was right. Partisan is 19th of May. Dicini is what, the 5th?
Yeah.
Then
oh my god, I've just realised, right? If we do Partisan,
yeah,
Dicini, and Games Expo, because Games Expo is a fucking
yeah, that's 3 in a month.
That's a show every other weekend for a month.
Okay then. Jesus.
Our wallets are gonna hate it.
That is yeah. That's a good point. Don't forget May 5th. Is that
Dicini? Darren, do it.
so? Salute is the 13th of April. So.
Oh my god.
Okay. So basically, then we've got Dicini, May 5th, Partisan 1,
Partisan,
May 19th, and then UK Games Expo. To be fair,
yeah.
That's the other thing about having gone to Chillcon. I feel even worse about not going to Partisan because Partisan's only an hour, and Chillcon was 2. We really should make the effort to go to it because it's right on our doorstep.
The only other hard counter to this, when is the Partisan at the end of the year?
I don't know because they had 2 last year, so I'm assuming they're going to have 2 again this year. Does anybody else know?
What I will say, while we're on sort of show roundup and we're looking at things, we've got Darren saying show report streams are always fun, and this has been a very fun stream. If you hit that like button, it does help us out. It helps with our exposure, getting us to the top of that YouTube algorithm. If you can share it as well. Oh, fucking Tim saying about Parmesan is now hungry.
Clown.
If you've only got time to do something, hit the like button. It helps us a lot. If you think that anybody else is going to enjoy this content, share it. Either send them a link or just give us a shout out to people. Comment and subscribe. We're here every week. We do this for you lot.
I have found a list. Let me just find finding page Newark. So we've Hammerhead we missed. Partisan the 19th of May. The other Partisan 13th of October. That is a good shout. That is a
Right.
good shout, though, because that means we would have Hereward at that end of the year as well, won't we? Maybe,
Yeah, it'll be seven.
maybe, sir, instead of burning ourselves out in May, that would be, part. Yeah, I do like that. Yeah, Darren says they should call them part 1 is Anne and part 2 is Anne. That's very clever. So yeah, maybe. Oh, Paul got there before me. See, I was off the chat. I could have just fucking left it, and you guys would have known. So, yeah, maybe that's what we do, mate. Maybe we do Dicini and UKGE, and then at the other end of the year we've got Partisan and the other
Hereward.
Partisan and Hereward. That might be a way to do it instead of over burning ourselves out at this end of the year.
It also means we won't end up in the doghouse with our other halves spending a
That's a
shit ton
fair
of money.
point too. Right. Well, I hope that you did enjoy the stream, guys. As David said, just like if you can only do that, but if you can do the other stuff, that's fucking brilliant as well. I won't labour the point too much as we're now over time and my voice is knackered and I need to go and finish my whiskey and then get myself an early night, I think. Because I've had a busy day. This is the other thing I've done today. I'll just show this off on camera just briefly because this will probably be something I'm working on next week. Finally got round to using some of these wooden gravestones I got from Foreground ages ago. Just put them on some 1mm plastic card and a little bit of sand and PVA texture just to make it look. So I want to paint this, probably a dark brown, and then get some grass flock on it. And we've got handy little modular graveyardy bits. Got to keep expanding that fucking terrain collection, guys. You can never have too much.
Oh, I tell you what is good. Well, just before you round out stream, I will show this off next week. But Black Templar contrast plus a finger makes brilliant oil streaks.
Oh, okay.
I'm just literally dotting it on where I want the streak, pulling it down a bit, and then just taking my finger to pull it down.
And even though it's a black, it works really well.
Yeah. Well, it's like oil streaking,
I
isn't
guess,
it?
yeah.
And it's contrast, so it's not like I'm putting black paint on. It's a bit thinner. Do you know what I mean? Because it's a contrast. It leaves a bit like a tide mark. It's really good. Handy dandy tips for you here on the Yellow Belly
Also,
Tabletop
before we
channel.
go, I notice you guys are sorting out your social lives in the chat. Paul's saying he's at BritCon. So where's that one, Paul?
Spam, as if I would put you in the doghouse. You never let me out of it. Love you, babe.
Nottingham Trent. Oh, that's a weekender. BritCon 2024, Friday the 9th to Sunday the 11th. Okay.
Of when?
August. So plenty of time. But it looks, this is a historicals hardcore by the looks of it. British Historical Society. Okay, Paul.
Ooh.
Right. Okay, guys. Where's the closing?
We're getting down rabbit holes. We'll catch you all next week when
we are currently
more random rambling.
Informal chaos will ensue. Enjoy and have a good week, and we'll see you all next week with a proper topic again. Although we're not sure what. See you later.
Ciao.